So I started re-watching season 1 of The Bear recently, and it's given me an obsession for making an Italian beef sandwich. I've never actually had an Italian beef sandwich, but I've gone down a ton of rabbit holes recently, so I'm gonna make one up, add a little smoked element to it, and try and do it in a way that I think will ensure it will taste good, rather than just trying to strictly be authentic. So the first thing we're gonna need for an Italian beef sandwich is the beef. So as I say, I've done lots of rabbit holing recently, and I think generally for a beef sandwich, you can use pretty much anything from the back end of a cow. I've gone for a sirloin roast, just because I happened to be in my local supermarket recently, had a yellow sticker on it, it was reduced, it's 1.8 kilograms, got a reasonable amount of fat running through it, but it's generally quite lean. So we're gonna get this seasoned up and get it onto the smoker. So most of the flavor in this sandwich is gonna come from the jus, or the dipping gravy, I guess. So I'm not gonna go crazy in terms of seasoning this up. Gonna get some salt and pepper on here, but in general, nothing particularly fancy with this. So I just went into the cupboard and looked for a basic salt and pepper rub. This Franklin one will do. I'm just gonna hit that pretty liberally. I did think about dry brining this, but this is gonna be sliced really thin, and it's almost gonna be seasoned with the jus. So getting plenty of salt into the center isn't that important. That's looking good, nicely seasoned. From here, I'm just gonna take this outside and get it onto my smoker. Gonna use the pellet smoker today, purely for convenience. I'm gonna smoke it nice, low and slow, and bring this up to an internal temperature of about 140 Fahrenheit in the center. Definitely no higher than that. I'm gonna run this about 200 Fahrenheit today, till we hit about 140, 145 Fahrenheit. So while that beef is smoking away, we're gonna make up some traditional Italian beef rolls. I think they're called French rolls. They're pretty dense, so they can hold up to that dip in that jus, but they're also really soft on the outside. So we're gonna make some up from scratch, but for those of you in the UK, if you're not really that into making bread and you want a quick fix, I've found that if you take a Co-op medium baguette, I think it's called, it can do a pretty good job at mimicking a French roll, or what I think a French roll is, if you do a couple of things to it. So as I say, I picked these up from Co-op, and generally they're crusty rolls. So they come out of the packet, they're pretty crusty. They're not really the texture we're looking for in this sandwich. However, if you take one of these Co-op medium baguettes, put it into a Ziploc bag and leave it just one night, overnight, you'll come back to a more stale version of that baguette, and the crust will be nice and soft. These baguettes tend to be pretty dense anyway, so it kind of ticks that box. And for me, I found that it comes pretty close to this recipe. Speaking of which, we are pretty much going to use the Brian Lagerstrom Italian beef sandwich roll recipe. Although I did change a few things up from that. I added dough conditioner, I upped the salt and reduced the sugar content. Full recipe will be down below. So we're gonna go in with some high protein, strong bread flour, some dough conditioner, some active dry yeast, some salt, some sugar, mix the dry ingredients round. Get down low, go in with some olive oil and slowly drizzle in some water. So we'll mix this on low for a couple of minutes until it forms into a ball. And once that's come together, switch it up to high and mix it for another 10 minutes. After 10 more minutes or so of mixing, it's nice and smooth, nice and stretchy. Get this out onto a very lightly dusted deck. And then I'm just gonna ball this up. You can use your hands, I like to use the scraper. You can see that is nice and smooth. Pop it in, tea towel, heavy plate, 2 hours or so, doesn't need to be long. Let it double in size, we'll come back and shape it up. So now feels like a good time to tell you about this week's sponsor, ZBiotics. If there's a way to wake up feeling refreshed after a night of drinking, it is with pre-alcohol. ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was actually invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking, and basically here's how it works. When you drink alcohol, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. And pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break that byproduct down. Just remember to make ZBiotics your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. So I first gave pre-alcohol a try when I was in Texas recently, somewhere I tend to drink a little bit more than I would do if I'm at home. I drank it before my first beer, and I didn't experience that rough morning that I usually do. So if you're interested in trying ZBiotics pre-alcohol, click the link in the description to get 15% off your first order at checkout. Plus, ZBiotics offer a 100% money back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, they'll refund you, no questions asked. So check the link out below, and thanks very much ZBiotics for sponsoring this video. So an absolute essential when it comes to an Italian beef sandwich is topping it off with an Italian giardiniera. So giardiniera is basically a pickled veg, and I actually made this a few days ago because it takes a couple of days to properly pickle, get all the salt and the vinegar into the veg, and it was really, really easy to do. All I did was take a cauliflower, some celery, some green bell pepper, some carrots, some onion, some garlic, and some green chilies, chop them up into a medium dice, put them into a container, and then made up my pickling liquid. And that was just a simple 2-part white vinegar to 1 part water. Then I added 5% of that total liquid weight in salt, Full recipe will be down below. Got that pickling liquid onto the heat, brought it up to a boil, and then poured it all over the veg. I allowed that to completely cool, and then I put it into my fridge. And now we're here. 2 or 3 days later, these should be perfectly pickled. That smells very good. All we need to do is drain off this pickling liquid. Just gonna use a sieve. And now we've got some just drained pickled veg. So you could just keep it like this. It's not gonna last particularly long if you do, but I think more traditionally this is stored in oil. So there's a couple of different oils that you can use for this. Olive oil seems to be quite common, although it does go hard at fridge temperatures. Vegetable oil seems to be what they use in the commercial ones, such as the Marconi brand. For me, I'm gonna do a blend of olive oil and vegetable oil. I don't mind that it goes hard in the fridge. I'll just take it out an hour or so before I need it. You know what, the vegetable oil that I thought I had is actually empty, so I'm just gonna go 100% olive oil. The most expensive Giardiniera ever made. That is looking good. I'm gonna give it a little taste. That is delicious. It's pickled veg. It's salty, acidic. It's not that hot. There's a little bit of heat coming through from those chilies, even though I don't think I bit into one. And that olive oil obviously gives it some richness. I can see how this is gonna be perfect on a sliced, smoked, salty beef sandwich. So I'm gonna keep this out the fridge because we're gonna be using this. After a few hours, the dough ball's risen up. I'm gonna cut the dough ball into 2 300-gram dough balls. I'm gonna shape them back up into actual balls, and I like to use a bench scraper for that. Just makes it a little easier to handle. Then I'm gonna rest them on a tray covered with a towel for about 30 minutes or so, just to give them enough time to relax again after that last shaping. After 30 minutes or so, I'm gonna line a baking tray with some parchment paper and dust that with semolina flour. Then we're gonna take our relaxed dough balls, lengthen them out into a bit of a rectangle shape, then tightly fold and roll from the bottom up into a cigar shape. From there, we're just gonna roll them out into the length of a medium baguette, and then we're gonna flatten them a little bit so they cook up in the shape of a flat sandwich roll rather than a round baguette. Then we just need to bake in a 190 Celsius oven until they're nicely golden, and these were incredibly soft on the outside, not crusty at all, but they have a nice dense inside that's strong enough to hold up to a potential dip in the jus later on. Definitely recommend giving this a go. So next up, we need to make our jus, our dipping sauce, our gravy, although it's not really a gravy. And I went back and forth on this quite a lot and how I was gonna make it. But traditionally, the way this is made is by taking the meat, semi-covering it in beef stock, putting in a spice mix, and then braising that beef in the oven, cooking the jus and the beef together. So you get all those beefy flavors from the actual roast into it, as well as some nice gelatin for a nice mouthfeel. But because I wanted to smoke this roast, I've decided to keep those two things separate. I was gonna smoke it a little bit and then put it into a braise, but there's not a huge amount of time there before we get to that medium rare. So I'm gonna make up a really, really good quality, already smoky jus. And then at the end, we'll combine those two things together when we make our sandwich. So to do that, I'm gonna take a nice big stock pot, and I'm gonna go in with some fennel seeds, some coriander seeds, some black peppercorns, and some crushed red chili flakes. And then I'm gonna lightly toast these off over some heat just to get the flavors going. These are nice and toasted, nice and fragrant. And to that, I'm gonna add some homemade smoked beef stock. So this was made by taking a load of beef bones, some beef tail, some beef rib bones, smoked all the bones and the meat off, celery, carrots, all that kind of thing, and just simmered it for many, many hours until I got a nice smoky, gelatinous beef stock. So this is already gonna have some smoke flavor in it, which will be nice. So that's gonna go in. To that, I'm gonna add some bay leaves, some oregano, some garlic powder, some onion powder, some smoked paprika, and this Goya adobo all-purpose seasoning. I really like this stuff. This has got cumin in it as well. This goes on pretty much everything in my house. Give that a stir, bring this up to a simmer and simmer it for quite a few hours. And I'm actually gonna reduce this down to a consistency that I think will be good for dipping our beef into later. Something a little bit more reduced than this. So about 3.5 hours later, maybe 4 hours, something like that. This is probing just about 140 Fahrenheit, which is perfect. We're gonna take this off, take it inside, let it cool down a little bit. And I'm gonna let this rest on a plate because I want all the juices to collect at the bottom. Anything that comes out will go straight into the jus. So this is rested down nicely. It's no longer cooking. The carryover heat is done. All of those delicious resting juices can go into our jus. And now, traditionally, to make this easier to slice, this would be allowed to cool and put into the fridge. When we come to shape it real thin, it being cold is gonna make it a huge amount easier. However, I wanna eat today, so I'm gonna expedite that process by putting it into a Ziploc bag and dumping it into an ice bath for maybe an hour or two. So the meat is in its ice bath. That'll be ready to slice real thin soon on my new meat slicer. The Giardiniera is just hanging out, ready to use. Bread's made. Now we just need to deal with that jus, which, by the way, smells incredible and tastes even better. So it has obviously got lots of coriander seeds in it, fennel seeds, bay leaves. So we're gonna strain all of that stuff out. Just gonna take a sieve. No, I'm gonna do this over the sink. And measuring this out, this looks like it reduced by about half, which I think is perfect. This should be enough for 2 very big sandwiches. This is gonna go back in. The next part, salt this to taste. So it's already quite salty because I added salt to the stock, but now's the time to really amp up the salt flavor. The beef itself isn't going to have a huge amount of salinity apart from that little crust on the edge of those slices. So this is pretty much going to do all the heavy lifting as far as salt's concerned. So apparently this should be saltier than you think it should be. I've got a pretty high salt tolerance, so I'm going to take this to where I think it's just over salted. And we'll bring that back up to temp once we're ready to make our sandwiches. So the beef, after a couple of hours, has cooled down. It actually took a lot longer than I thought. It took about 2 hours. So all we're going to do now is start to bring our jus back up to temperature, and it's really important that you keep an eye on the temperature of the jus itself. We made a real effort to cook this beef to a good internal temperature at 140, 145, and these beef slices are going to be super thin when we drop them into the jus. So if that's boiling away, it's not going to take very long for it to overcook the beef. The beef should be nice and rosy in the middle, and we want to keep it that way. So I'm going to use my instant read thermometer to keep an eye on the temperature of the liquid. I'm excited to play with this. So I'm going to set this to as thin as it can possibly go, but it might take a few little tries to get it right. Take our smoked sirloin. So that is looking very good. There's a little smoke ring on there, which is nice. Nice, medium. So I think that is a perfect amount for the beef sandwich. I'm looking forward to this. Jus up to temp, French roll. I'm just gonna take the ends off. I think usually these are cut in half, but I'm gonna go big. Beef into the jus. That looks incredible. It's still staying nice and rosy too, so we didn't get that liquid too hot, which is good. Gonna go down with some parchment paper. I feel like I already know how this is gonna taste. I've tasted everything individually, so I feel like I've got a good idea, and I'm certain it is gonna be epic. I wonder if Joe Yim likes an Italian beef. Take some of that Giardiniera, draining it off. Don't want all that oil in. And then somehow, I'm gonna have to roll this bad boy up. And there it is, the Italian beef. Let's open this up, see how much of a mess I've made. I really wanted to open this up with a thumbnail, but I think it's actually gonna be better if I keep it wrapped very, very tightly. Let's see what that cross section looks like. I think that looks good. That looks very good. And I'm pretty sure that's what an Italian beef should look like. So I'm delighted with that. So a good few days worth of work gone into that. Also, there's absolutely no chance I'm dipping this back into the liquid. I'm not crazy on soggy bread. Give it a go. Yeah. The Giardiniera, genius. I get it. I definitely get it. The acidity cuts through that beef incredibly well. Absolutely outrageous. I'll tell you one thing, I only needed half for sure. This is dense. The beef itself, so tender, perfectly cooked. The bread, dense enough to hold up to the amount of liquid that went into that sandwich. The Giardiniera, perfect. Yeah, it's just a great sandwich. Big fan of the Italian beef. I feel like the only thing that might make this better is some like melted provolone cheese or something. That might be blasphemy to people from Chicago, but I think it would be good. Absolutely outrageous. I will be making this again for sure. It's a lot of work. I really do think the trick with the supermarket rolls is worth a look. Everything else is pretty easy, pretty simple. The Giardiniera can stay on hand and be made weeks in advance. You could throw this together pretty quickly. I'm gonna slice that beef up and then freeze it. It will be good for a very long time. And I could whip one of these out at a moment's notice. I'm defeated, I think. I ate less than half of that whole roll. Eyes were definitely bigger than my stomach. I really recommend that you give this a go if you've never done it before. Well worth the effort, and you can obviously skip some steps if you want to. You can get those rolls. You can buy store-bought Giardiniera. Just smoke some beef, make a jus, and got yourself a good sandwich. So if you made it this far, thanks very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. It really, really does help me out. And I'll see you next week for another video.